I thought it would be good to talk a little about my Waterstones. You'll see here that I store them in extremely cheap seed trays, which I get from the garden centre. Nothing fancy required. And because it's a teaching workshop, I have a lot of stones. So if I stored them flat, they would take up a huge amount of space. What I've discovered is that they're quite happy just sitting in ½ an inch of water at the bottom of the tray. Now, as I said, a teaching workshop gets through stones at quite a rate. I've got some examples here. I hope you can see that these are two remnants of stones which have been stuck together. In fact, they were probably stuck together before they got this thin, because once you have stuck them together, you can go on using them virtually down to the glue line. And I think I've got an example here. So this is quite an economical approach. I use a waterproof glue, such as polyurethane, and I think I have also used epoxy. This stone had a broken corner, which I've glued back on, and I'm pretty sure that was the epoxy, and it seems to have no effect on the function of the stone. Now, if you've seen any of my sharpening DVDs, you'll have seen that I very often take another stone and rub it together on the first one. Now, as I keep saying in these DVDs, this is nothing to do with flattening. It's entirely to do with creating a little mud, such as you see here. And if I do this creation of a little mud, I find that my stones cut quickly from the beginning. If I don't create mud, I think it takes a number of strokes of sharpening before the tool creates its mud and then starts to cut quickly. So it's a technique I like very much. Here's my favourite polishing stone at the moment. This is a 10,000 grit stone, and you'll see that it has very clear bevels formed on the edges, and these are important. If you don't maintain the bevels on your stone, it will get sharp, and a sharp stone can cut you. But there's a worse problem, that the clay-like matrix of these stones tends to crumble away at the edges, and that looks unsightly and I think is not a good thing at all. You might have wondered what this blue mat that I put my stones on is. It's an extraordinary thing. It's actually called a sticky rubber mat, and it's made by a firm called Dychem. In the States, they're dychem.com, and in the UK, they're dychem.co.uk. Now, years ago, I used to secure my stones to a plywood top. I had some battens, I had some wedges, but everything got very, very grubby, and it wasn't easy to clean. The beauty of these things is you pick them up, you take them to the sink, you give them a little scrub with detergent, just ordinary household detergent, and they're as good as new. I've kept some of these going for as much as 15 years, I think. I'm a big fan of Waterstones, and as you can see, they do require a little bit of care. You can eke out the life a little bit by gluing the thin bits together, and that way they'll go on serving you for a bit longer.